Hey, look at that. We're recording.
Welcome to the war. What is
Hey.
it good for, Sqrpt?
Oh, God.
I just said a minute ago, right before you joined, Rita, that I thought Trudeau's backpedaling on the emergency order was going to be the big news for the show tonight.
Yeah.
Why did you think that?
Well, because that was the big topic until this morning.
Well,
Because nobody thought Putin would do it. Get it?
Well, we were assured that
absolutely, by top men
men
and women. As an addendum,
that the sanctions were going to work.
Oh yeah. As an addendum to the trucker thing, though, I like how they called out the National Guard in advance of the U.S. convoy. So this makes twice now. This makes twice now that Biden's called out the National Guard. Both times it was to protect D.C.
I also heard the FBI was putting in a huge order for khakis and Confederate flags.
Tiki torches. Don't forget tiki torches.
Yeah, tiki torches.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah. And even that was overshadowed by, the events of this morning.
And they're putting the fence back up in D.C., right?
Probably.
No, they're putting the fence back up.
Shocked with everything going on in Ukraine with Russia. Nobody's brought up January 6th. I'm disappointed. John Kerry says it's taking the emphasis away from climate change. Well done, fucking Lurch. Yes, what we really need to be worried about right now is climate change. Specifically, parts of the world reaching 50,000 degrees, you fucking nitwit. Climate change.
Right.
Climate fucking change.
Well, who was the
Russia
other?
is invading Europe, and this fucking nitwit is, what about climate change? Remember, this dolt, this fucking gigolo, was the Secretary of State. It's not like
what is
he doesn't
now?
know.
Does he do anything now?
He's the climate czar, blah, blah, blah. He's in charge of the... which is, okay. he's at least on point. Basically. But it's like, John, Lurch, shut your fucking pie hole, okay? Right now, we've got
read the room, buddy.
Matters.
Yeah.
More pressing matters than climate change. Russia invading Europe, a little high in the climate change, pal.
Or who was the one that was all worked up about the COVID? Oh, Ukrainians aren't fully vaccinated.
They're huddled together in buildings. That's ripe for COVID. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because catching COVID is preferable to catching a fucking sidewinder, you dolt. Or whatever. I know it's not a sidewinder. That's a U.S. blah, 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 blah. Catching a cruise missile. I couldn't think.
I especially like the news that the Russians were parking all their stuff in Chernobyl, figuring that they wouldn't get shelled because it'll just spray radioactive dust all over the Ukraine.
I know. Hey, use what you got.
Also,
right?
if you take over their source of power, then
it's dead.
And aren't they concerned about the emissions of the tanks? I mean, the carbon footprint of those fighter jets. Just we are fundamentally unserious.
Oh yeah.
And all I'm looking back to is the entire fucking 1990s. That we took an 8-year vacation from history, and it brought us the World Trade Center.
Mm-hmm.
Because we looked weak. And I think what's even worse now is we are weak. We don't just look weak. They saw Afghanistan. And they took one look at Afghanistan.
I mean, come on.
Oh God.
We've got officers in charge of multicultural LGBTQ RST rainbow flag warriors. I mean, they should tremble in fear.
We've got a
so they're actually taking over the disaster site of Chernobyl, not just Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you don't give a rat's ass about your people, you can do that. So the guy that drives the tank gets cancer. Oh well, guess what? There's 20 more we can put in to take his place.
Well, his life is considerably more at risk in the immediate future than it is long term.
Exactly.
And he'll probably drink himself to death anyway before he dies of cancer from the radiation.
Exactly.
So
He'll die of cirrhosis long before the cancer gets him. Oh, but
apparently Chernobyl is right on the way to Kiev, so it's on the way.
I honestly didn't. I read first when I read that Chernobyl thing, I was like, "What the fuck are they doing there?" And then I guess I didn't remember that it was in.
Yeah. Well, because when it happened, it was in Russia.
Right. Exactly. It wasn't. Yeah.
You know, and that's just. I mean, you know, the UN useless, but we knew that.
Yeah. Big deal.
China's like, fuck you. We're not sanctioning Russia.
I like the Babylon Bee article that said Taiwan gets a preview of what's going to happen to them in a few weeks.
Yeah, weeks, days. There's going to be no repercussions. The fucking the EU talk about fucking tits on a bull useless. Oh, they're debating sanctions and fucking they can't even agree on what to sanction. Oh, we can't sanction the fuel. We can't sanction the banks. We can't sanction this. Oh, guess what? Then I guess they just do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, Germany gets like half of their heating fuel from Russia.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And now imagine if we were still an exporter of fuel and gas and oil. Imagine if we still did that. You know, like we were fucking 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Until fucking Depends in Chief took over. If we were still exporting fuel, we could say, hey guys, guess what? We can fill in the gap. And then you know what? Russia probably wouldn't have done this because war takes money. And if you can't sell petroleum products to the rest of Europe, you don't have money. And that's why every time I hear some fucking leftist puke go, oh, Biden will show them. Or
I don't get that whole like the people that think Biden is going to be somehow like this like strong, you know, stand up to Putin guy. I mean, what kind of bizarre?
Yeah. Well, Trump was a Russian stooge, and yet Russia didn't invade Ukraine when Trump was president. One would think that if Trump were, propped up by the Russians, beholden to the Russians, you know, if Trump's son was on a board making millions of dollars with the Russians, that maybe he would have let it happen. Except he didn't.
When did they start agitating about letting Ukraine into NATO? Because I think that's, I mean, I'm not a geopolitical expert.
Yeah.
But I do know Russian history to a certain extent. And Russia, because of where they are, they have like this horrible, it's like they have this fear of being invaded because it's happened to them over and over and over and over and over again. And
it's kind of warranted.
That's why they're so worked up about this buffer between them and Europe and everything else. And somebody in the West decided, oh yeah, we're going to let Ukraine be in NATO, which shouldn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
But, and you know, well, no wonder Russia invades Ukraine because, you know, they can't let NATO be right next door to them.
You know what?
What?
I don't care. Do you actually care about Ukraine?
No.
Do you care? Really?
No. Well, I care what the fallout's going to do to the U.S.
Sure.
I care about aircraft carriers being sent to the area very much.
As do I, Jay.
So that's the extent of my caring. Whether they actually take it or not, you know.
Well, also, and the Federal Reserve suddenly has a good excuse not to increase interest rates again, which they were desperately afraid of having to do.
Yeah.
So,
and what's good for stopping a depression? A war. a big war that uses up a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And guess where we're headed?
Well, that's what worries me because Biden's trotting out. Oh no, we're not sending troops to Ukraine. We're not sending. We'll do sanctions. Except they always lie.
Yeah, and whatever they say they're not going to do, they're already planning it.
Right.
Which is why when I saw there's no evidence that that nuclear weapons have been used, I'm like, what? Like, why is this even a thing? Why are you coming? It's very pointed, and it's
the media is stirring up. No. It's they're stirring up hysteria. Oh no, Russia has nukes. Oh no, we have to go in. Oh no.
Exactly.
They're gonna use their nukes.
Exactly. Why would you come out with?
Have you seen the movie Wag the Dog? Have you seen it?
Yeah,
I lived it in the 90s.
Go and watch that movie.
Yep.
It's like the same thing.
Exactly.
Albania took a suitcase full of nukes to Canada to try to smuggle it into the United States, and so we need to have a war.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie.
Those crazy Albanians.
Yeah. Watch.
I remember when they were here the first time, those wild and crazy guys.
They keep using the same playbook. Let's have a war.
We keep electing communists.
Well, I mean, generationally, I guess no millennials have really seen that movie, right?
No, they'd never seen it.
Probably.
So
it came out in the 90s, didn't it?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I remember seeing it in the theater.
Yeah, they would have seen it.
But
it doesn't have Seth Rogen in it, so it doesn't count.
Right. It could though. A remake with Seth Rogen might work.
A remake with Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill.
Whatever's going on between Russia and the Ukraine, it is not a real thing for us. It isn't.
That's what Tucker Carlson was saying.
They're doing to protect democracy and their borders are sacred and blah blah. Nobody believes that.
Yeah.
Nobody believes it. Our border is not sacred.
Right.
In this country.
Yeah.
So why are we going to shit about what happens in Ukraine?
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, but
except they can use it to.
They can have their war over in Europe, but like, as far as us going in being the policeman and trying to, protect their democracy in the Ukraine, like, first of all, the Ukraine really is not a democracy. It is not.
Right.
They have the whole thug oligarchy over there. So, I mean, just ask Hunter Biden, who launders all of his money through the Ukrainians. I mean, is that what we're protecting? Hunter Biden's millions?
That's exactly. Yes, that's what we're protecting.
Yeah. So forgive me if I don't.
10% for the big guy.
Yes. Here's another thing. I've started to see this pop up a lot. Oh, the right is in love with Putin. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you for cites. I need citations on this.
Yeah. Sure.
Nope.
And what's your basis? Is it that, I don't know, the guy, I mean, he was on Family Guy and conservatives like Family Guy. I don't know. I don't know the basis. The man was head of the fucking KGB. Okay, this is not a good guy. This is not somebody you want to be like.
Yeah, it's
no.
I think it's projection.
I mean, do we have Ted Cruz approving of Vladimir Putin? Do we have I don't even know.
I think it's projection. You know how the lefties love them some dictators.
Yeah. Oh, communist dictators, please.
Yeah.
It's like,
absolutely,
you're projecting here, guys, because we're not the ones that idolize communists, i.e., see,
Trump came out this week.
Monsieur Castro, north of the border. I'm sorry, Brina.
Trump came out this week and said, this whole move by Putin is genius.
Yes.
And I think, this has gotten the left like, oh, Trump still loves Putin and the right loves Putin and Trump and I mean, they can't quit Trump, right? So anything that Trump says, of course. and they're kind of misconstruing what he said in the statement. But I think on a certain level, like Trump was just saying, like from a strategic kind of political kind of way, yeah, kind of genius. Yep. Good job, Putin.
You know.
Yeah, Russia's also,
and in the scope of history, probably true.
Yeah, Russia's also in the last.
I'm sorry if I'm talking over everybody, but whatever.
We have delays. It's okay.
Yeah, clearly. Should I just hang up?
No.
No.
No, I was just going to say that, you know, over the last number of years, Russia has done all they can to divorce themselves from the Western payment system, you know, the SWIFT system and all that kind of stuff. They've been buying gold like crazy. They've been setting themselves up to be, you know, sanction proof, right?
Yeah.
They supply so much gas and oil to Europe. Is Europe really going to sanction Russia and say, oh no, you can't sell your gas and oil to us? Really?
Yeah, this isn't like Iran where you can get petroleum from any number of other Middle Eastern entities.
Right.
You know, this is a pipeline for your home heating oil and or I guess gas, but
that's okay. Wind power and solar, that'll save.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Build more windmills.
Makes my head hurt.
But yeah, you know, we're gonna get embroiled in another land war thanks to a Democrat, and deal with the fallout later. I'm sure a Republican will come in and clean it up, like, you know, Ronald Reagan.
Maybe, if we could ever get one elected again.
Well, we'll see. You know, and what a you know, amazing distraction from, you know, abysmal polling and inflation and, you know, all the other less than flattering things in the news. What sells
I love how they're trying to gaslight the public now. They're trying to gaslight the entire American public now, saying that all the inflation and the gas prices and the supply chain issues are due to Ukraine. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no. This has just happened.
That's the new excuse for everything now.
Yeah.
Blame the Russians.
And this saddest part is it'll work.
Oh yeah, of course it'll work.
Within 3 months, it's going to be, oh no, that's all because of the, you know, Russian invading Ukraine and blah 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 blah.
Well, the timing couldn't be better because, you know, everybody's over the COVID thing, so they can't really. It's hard to scare people over COVID anymore.
Yep.
So now they got a new thing to scare people with. You know,
how long before we have duck and cover drills again?
I thought we were already having those.
We had those in grade school.
Did they play you the turtle movie?
We were told they were for. No, we were told they were for tornadoes.
That's what we did too. Yeah, we had the same thing.
Tornadoes.
We had tornado.
Oh, you had tornadoes?
No, we had tornado drills in school where everybody had to go in the hallway and do that on the floor. And I'm like, this is dumb. What's this gonna do?
It keeps your corpse more or less intact. That's
what
it does.
We're because the classrooms had windows. I'm like, have you seen those windows? Those are the windows you can't break. They got the chicken wire in them. Those are, you know, they might.
Oh,
They
there's nothing
might shatter. Yeah,
they might. There's nothing coming in those windows. They're designed for that. I think the whole thing was ridiculous.
But they could check
for the
boxes.
bomb.
They could check boxes and say, "Well, we had our drill. We're good."
I did.
Yeah.
I did like the turtle, the old turtle video. I wish they'd bring that back and play it. The duck and cover turtle video.
What are you talking about?
The old Central Civil Defense duck, the turtle. You've never seen that?
Like the World War I.
No.
I'll find the link and send it to you. It's a turtle, and he's walking along, and
I'm not ancient
all of a sudden
like
there's a bomb, and the turtle's like thump inside his shell, and
as they do.
Yeah.
Doesn't Myra still get residuals from that?
Yeah, she ought to.
Maybe.
Oh,
she's still not awake.
So,
well, it's not spring yet.
It's still winter.
Yeah, tell me about it. We're at the stage of winter where we cannot get warm. It's terrible. It's like my body's given up. Like it's cold, and I'm just gonna be cold.
Sucks. I wonder if that's a psychological thing. Do you think?
I don't know.
Because I mean, the temperature is not any colder, really.
I know it's not any colder than like the rest of the winter, but we had a couple nice days, and like I don't know, you just get worn down by the end of winter. You're just like I don't know. Yeah. Can't explain it.
Isn't this over yet?
I don't understand that.
Well, I don't know. I'm seeing like lots of friends in parts of Texas that got snow like this week.
It snowed up in north part of Texas.
Yeah. Like more than like we got.
Alan is wearing shorts
this whole winter. Yes.
I'm not wearing shorts today. I'm wearing jeans. I'm trying to adjust my camera. Why do I keep getting shorter? What the hell? There.
now we're reading your palm print.
We're reading Alan's palm.
Is there a palm print there? Oh no, you're okay.
No, when you hold your hand up to the camera, you can see your palm.
Yeah.
No, it's not a palm, it's a Newton.
Oh my God, Jay. That was awful.
Oh boy.
I went way back for that one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So let's see. Yeah, we had Kamala going before, going over to Europe and telling them everything's okay and sanctions are going to work and there'll be peace in our time and like this like war's like a bad thing and like oh my God, I'm like this is the vice president, people.
Yeah.
It's like oh wow, nobody wants war.
It's the vice president,
diversity hire.
Clearly.
And we're about to get another one in the Supreme Court.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's the thing. The Supreme Court, and this is the difference between, to a certain extent, Democrats and everybody else. Because if I was nominated for something like that, but it wasn't because of my, accomplishment or my ability to do the job better than anyone else, I'd refuse it. Because I wouldn't want to be known as the diversity hire or something like that. But a Democrat will do it. They'll take it. They don't care. Yep. They don't care at all.
Well, they think they are the best. They it's part of the
and they deserve it and they're entitled to it now.
Well, not only that, but they don't care if they deserve it or not because they'll use it for their political purposes.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Part of the pathology.
They justify it and they justify it because, well, those evil rich white men have had their turn for far too long. So it's someone else's turn because it's all a zero-sum game. You know what? It's interesting. Nobody ever brings up Harriet Miers because she was withdrawn by George W. Bush because she's not qualified enough, and she was savaged for not being qualified enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're just going to offer up someone whose only qualifications, the only important qualifications, are that it's a African-American female. Everyone, again, I keep coming back to, imagine Donald Trump saying, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, I'm only going to nominate a white man, a white Christian man. The media would have, they lost their minds anyway. But they would have, this would have been the greatest. I don't even know what hyperbolic phrases they could have used because they compared the fucking, the frat boys in the Capitol to the Holocaust and 9/11 and fucking the Civil war and every other bad thing that's ever happened in human history, you know, because stealing Nancy Pelosi's podium is exactly the same as gassing 6 million Jews to death, you know.
Well, as far as they're concerned, it is.
Yeah.
It's worse.
You know,
I mean, Hitler only killed
you?
Jews. He didn't harm Democrats in the House, for God's sake.
He didn't kill AOC 3 times.
Right.
You know?
What are you talking about? Crazy. You know what's funny though is when Biden said that he was only going to appoint a black or African American woman. Immediately, people started, "Oh, Kamala Harris." Well, first off, she's not African American.
No,
Indian
at all. Yeah, I mean,
Indian Jamaican.
It's just weird how the Democrats' thought process goes. It's like, ooh, dark skin, African American.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
all the same.
that's all they see. That's it.
Well, and I mean, I guess there's probably instances where a president is nominated their vice president, but once you take Harris out of the equation, the Senate reverts to the GOP. So,
it's a tie.
Right. Well, yes, it's a tie. You no longer have a tiebreaker.
Except for that one guy that's in the hospital with a stroke or something. So it's 49-50 right now.
You know, so they're not going to do anything until he comes back, or they have a successor.
The big question is: would the Democrats have enough votes in the Senate to confirm Kamala Harris as?
That's an interesting one because it gets her the fuck out of the vice presidency.
Yeah, but would they get enough Democrats to go along with that?
I think a lot would depend
Joe
on
Manchin. Would Joe Manchin go along with it?
It would depend on who Biden chose as his vice president. There'd have to be some, you know.
I don't know. And I don't know how it works because, you know,
yeah.
So can Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote for her own confirmation to the Supreme Court?
Of course she can. Of course she can.
No.
She's a Democrat. They can print up millions of ballots, Alan. Come on.
How come we've got 1,000 votes in this House of Representatives? My God, where'd all these mail-ins come from?
Yeah.
Is there a rule for that?
For what? Voting for yourself?
Casting her.
I don't know. I think that's an unanticipated
Come on
thing.
They thought of everything.
Well, it's not in the Constitution. It's not in the Constitution.
It's not in any of the writings or.
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not a law professor, but you know.
Oh, speaking of the Constitution, CNN today decided it was for Second Amendment.
Right yeah, but not for us.
Not for us. Just the Ukrainians.
Right.
Oh, okay. So what they're saying is we should send our Constitution to Ukraine because we're sure as hell not using it.
Basically. Oh, we should probably send them their guns too. I mean, we did in Afghanistan, right? So we should just probably dump a bunch of.
Get out of here, Jay. Oh. That thing's dead. You know it. It's dead as a doornail.
It's old. It's dead white European men. That's all it is. They own slaves. Therefore, anything they ever did shouldn't count.
They don't matter. They don't matter at all.
As long as we're woke, that the magic shield of wokeness will protect us.
Do we think the Queen's dead yet?
She's not dead. Well, let me check.
she had the run.
Let me check.
And she is about 180.
Oops.
So
I swear
I'm so excited I dropped my phone. Hold on, let me check that.
I heard Prince Charles has been having coronation practice
for the past 2 decades, probably. Are you kidding? He probably walks around in a little crown. I'm the king. I'm the king. Fucker.
Puts his bedspread around his shoulders and walks around. You know.
He's got his robe. He's got his scepter.
his bedspread and the toilet plunger. I'm the king. I'm the king.
I'm the king.
Oh goodness!
It's canceled virtual engagement due to COVID symptoms.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, early in the week, they're saying her symptoms were very mild and she was still doing virtual engagements. Virtual engagements are now canceled.
Yeah.
The queen is dead.
Dun dun dun.
It's only a matter of time.
She's not dead.
I'm not dead yet. Sorry, I forget how much Rita hates that movie.
I'm allowed to laugh. I'm sorry.
You get the Irish dispensation, Rita.
I'm Irish and American, so
yeah,
it's like double whammy.
That's a double.
You only care when
anti-royalty.
something bad happens to the British monarchy.
Oh, I got to tell you,
goodness.
Prince Harry has been a delight. Fucking delight, that guy. Yep.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Kate Middleton and Prince William are going to the Caribbean to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah, because she won't let them in England. She's like, get the fuck out, stay out.
No, Prince William. No, Prince William, not Harry.
Oh, Williams.
He's the good one.
The good one.
Yes.
Okay. Why are they doing it there instead of in England?
Because the Caribbean is a shit ton nicer than England now.
This is true.
Why, Alan? Why do they have the climate change conference at like some island out in the the Polynesians? In January, February.
Yeah.
It's because nobody wants to go to nobody wants to go to Oslo in February.
Right.
It's cold.
Yeah. This is true.
Nobody's dying to go to Saskatchewan in early March.
Yeah. But since you brought up Canada, can we talk about what I was sure was going to be the topic of the week? Why do you think Trudeau rescinded his emergency order 2 days after the Parliament voted to approve it? And because they voted the speeches, I mean, I watched some of them. It was, this is emergency, man. We have to, it's perilous. It's we have to pass this, but otherwise the nation is in peril. And then 2 days later, oh yeah, we don't need that anymore. What happened?
I'm thinking the banks.
I think so too.
I think people were pulling their money out like crazy. And
Yep. When they started, we're just going to take everybody's money. Everyone was like, okay, yoink. And the banks are like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Could be.
I wonder too, if they said, you know what? If the truckers say, you know what? You win. We're going to grab our trucks and we're going to go home and we're going to stay there.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing you can do if they decide they're going to park their rigs and not drive for a week or 2 weeks or a month. Absolutely nothing. If
their accounts are frozen, they can't buy diesel. So, what are they going to do?
And which is worse for the country? A handful of truckers making a statement in Ottawa.
You know what's worse.
Yeah.
For Trudeau, what's worse is having all those fucking truckers there making a mockery of him.
Yep.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
That's an immediate thing.
People starving or dying. That doesn't affect him. Who cares?
Not right away. When he's recalled or, do they tar and feather with maple syrup up in Canada? I'm just curious.
hot maple syrup and pine leaves.
And pine needles. That's where Bigfoot comes from.
Oh my God.
We cracked the code. Someone called Tom Hanks and can make a movie about
goose feathers. Canada goose feathers.
Oh yeah.
Cobra chickens.
Those fucking Canadian geese.
Cobra chicken.
Cobra chickens. Evil, I tells ya. We get them around here.
I've never heard that before.
I've never heard it before
Oh,
either.
they're everywhere.
Cobra
They are
chickens.
everywhere.
They're
I've
horrible.
never heard cobra chickens though.
I go running.
Well, I know
by
the geese are awful.
I go running by them, and they're like,
Do they chase you?
"Oh, they give me the side eye
Sometimes.
though," and I'm like,
Oh,
I could take one or two of you. I don't know about 4 or 5.
That's the
you got to
dinosaur.
be very careful in the springtime because they get mean.
They get
in the
feisty.
spring.
That's the dinosaur
Yeah.
trying to decide if you're
They'll
food or
fight
not.
you.
Yeah, they will.
What?
See, the good thing is when I'm running, I don't. Can birds smell?
Yes, they can.
Well, good,
Yeah.
because when I'm running, I
Yeah.
stank, so they ain't coming anywhere near me. They got
Yeah, but-
nose out. Oh, geez, God, no! What is that? It's some form of hairless ape running by.
Well, they can smell better than you can, Jay.
Well, that's damning with faint praise. Because I don't smell so good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Trudeau's got to be loving current events. This is great. Took all the heat off. Took all the attention off.
Yep.
He can be, like you said, 2 days later. Oh, I'm flip flopping, and nobody cares. It's done. It's yesterday's news, and we've got something new and shiny to focus on. We have another way to take your attention off the screwing you're getting.
I wonder if he knew. Oh yeah, this is going away because Russia's about to invade Ukraine. Let me pull.
You have to assume that they have access to the same assets that we do, or similar assets.
We apparently didn't know it.
Well,
Speaking of assets, it would be a good time for Ukraine to dump all the dirt they have on the Bidens.
That's an interesting. Or
I wish there is plenty. I'm sure
Putin and the KGB gets a hold of it, and now you have effective blackmail.
Well, that's the problem.
They already have it.
Yeah,
Russia already has it.
They
stole. What was the story? They stole, and China, but they stole laptops from Hunter Biden. Like while he was all drugged up with prostitutes, they came and they stole his laptops.
Yep.
So they have. Have everything.
His email accounts were hacked by 12 different countries or something. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
And 3 of them were China, and the other 6 were Russia. It's.
That brings up another thing that scares the living shit out of me. Biden was giving his big thing where we are exploring taking cyber measures against Russia, like hacking their infrastructure. And I'm like, isn't that an act of war? Like to say, as the United States, as a sovereign nation, we are going to attack another country, even cyber attack. That's an act of war. There's no difference whether you.
Why would you say that out loud?
Shut the bank. You shut the banks off, or you blow them up. There's no difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is a difference
in today's day and age.
Yeah, I think there is a difference. I think there's a political difference.
Yes.
You might be able to do more destruction. It's kind of like a neutron bomb, right? You destroy everything, but leave all the good stuff in place.
You turn the power and water off.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do, and you can do that. You can do that from 10,000 miles away.
Shit, Russia can do it. All they have to do is turn the knob on the pipeline, and Europe freezes.
Yeah, which that's the other part of it. It's like, they can respond conventionally, which is very bad, or they can respond. I mean, we've never heard about Russian hackers. Yeah. Now imagine those Russian hackers all of a sudden don't have any electricity and can't get to the bank. And do we want to telegraph that? It's not the kind of thing. I mean, this was an actual statement. that
They're
this
idiots, Jay.
I'm just like, I cannot believe that this doddering old fool is out there saying this. This is the president.
Yeah. Well,
we're exploring options, including. I'm like,
I like what some reporter asked him if the Russians were going to use nuclear weapons or something like that, and Biden's like, I have no idea.
We're in the best of hands.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That does explain that there's no evidence that nuclear weapons were used. I'm like, no shit. The fact that, I don't know, we didn't see a giant fucking mushroom cloud or, set off Geiger counters. I mean, when Fukushima went down in Japan, it was setting off Geiger counters in Colorado.
Yep.
So, if they were using even small nukes, we would know.
Yeah, we'd know about it.
We would know instantly. Like I said, there's literally no reason to print the story that there's no evidence nuclear weapons were used.
Right.
There's no evidence, which, leads me to believe it's a misdirect or it's an Overton window. Well, they didn't use any, but, they positioned a whole shitload of them.
I did see something saying Ukraine saying, yeah, we're going to start working on our own nukes.
Everybody's going to be doing
everybody
that.
nukes.
Because that was a bad deal. Because, they had nukes and they gave them up.
Yeah.
Because
we would protect them.
Yeah, because the U.S., Europe, and Russia promised that they would be protected. We'll handle that for you.
To quote one of my favorite movies, you fucked up. You trusted us.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God.
Yep. Just like the Afghanis. You fucked up. You trusted us.
Yeah, you'd think after all these years, you'd think the world would realize that you can't trust the U.S. as an ally. You just can't.
And you're, as long as you're useful to us, and then when you're not,
and sometimes not even then.
Yeah.
Depends on the politics.
Just this. It's just a lot of parallels to the 90s. This vacation from history.
Yeah.
We can just pretend and, the World Trade Center was attacked in 93 and we kind of slapped wrists and we're fine. They attacked the USS Cole and and then September 11th happened. It was, George Bush let this happen. They're waiting. They're waiting for the next Republican and then everything goes to shit. Well, it's their fault. They're still blaming Trump. We're what? We're almost 14 months into Biden's presidency, and they're still blaming Trump for everything.
Right.
Russia's Trump's fault. Ukraine is Trump's fault. The economy is Trump's fault. Trump. Sorry, your dude's been in for over a year.
We had 4 years of peace.
Yeah,
4 years peace.
Except for that one time right at the beginning where Trump sent some cruise missiles into Syria or something. And then you realize the people that told him to do it were fucked up. And he's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that again. So then then we had nothing. So yeah, it kind of goes back to what Brita said earlier. It's like, do you care about Ukraine? Really? No. And I guarantee you if Trump was in office, this wouldn't be happening because it didn't
happen.
Right. But I'm just saying it wouldn't happen because Trump wouldn't have been pressuring to get Ukraine into NATO, which is what started all this.
Trump was more concerned about getting actual NATO members to pretend that they were members of NATO.
Well, he was like, pay up or we're leaving. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
You pay your fair share or we're taking our money and going home.
Have we all seen that chart, the bar graph that shows what percentage everyone is paying, where the U.S. is this big, everyone else is that big. Yeah. And it's you know what? Yeah. The next time some fucking European puts on their superior airs about we have free healthcare and free college, fuck you. Pay for your fucking military.
Yeah.
Until you do, shut your fucking pie hole. Because until you're dropping 5 to 10% of your GDP protecting your own asses rather than relying on us, stay the fuck out and let the grown-ups talk.
Yeah. Also, why are you relying on us? Really?
Yeah.
don't, hey, rest of the world, in case you haven't realized.
we saved everybody's asses in World War II.
Yeah, that one time.
You know,
that one time. That was it. That one time.
Well,
and we've never done it ever since.
Yeah.
Well, except
nor should we.
Again, there's a case to be made that our efforts throughout the 50s and 60s helped accelerate the end of the Cold War. So there, I'm not entirely, we still have a purpose, and we still have a place, and we still are the shining city on the hill.
Okay.
But it'd be nice if other people were paying their own fucking way. You want to have this big, international peacekeeping force, or I guess NATO is not the peacekeeping force. They're the stick, not the carrot.
NATO? Oh,
right.
Yeah. Well, UN's the rapey.
Yes.
The rapey occupation force.
Not just rapey, underage rapey.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're Roman Polanski rapey.
Yeah. And and not too discriminate about, the sex either. No, wait, that's
UN's also UN's also the same people that put China and Syria on the Human Rights Council.
Yeah.
What?
Well, speaking of China, can we talk about the Olympics and what a ratings disaster it was for NBC?
There was an Olympics?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't know it though, would you?
Because it all boiled down to racism, Alan. Didn't you know that?
No.
They had one. They had. Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up. No, there were two skaters. There was a Russian skater and an American skater. They were both forbidden from. They were kicked out of the Olympics for banned substances. One was a performance-enhancing drug. The other was cannabis. And it was it was the African American skater who was cannabis and was kicked out, and the Russian skater was the performance enhancing drug. She was still in because it was they'd appealed the suspension. Blah 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 blah. She's claiming that my medications got mixed up and I took my grandfather's whatever.
Come on.
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So wait, Jay. Wait. Let's back up and examine this for a minute. So you're an Olympic athlete.
You're going exactly where I was going to go.
You're an Olympic athlete, and you're at the Olympics. Something you've trained probably your whole life for, and you decide that's the perfect time for a wake and bake.
Yeah. Especially 1998. I remember this. It was the first year that snowboarding was in the Winter Olympics. And the Canadian team was disqualified for smoking pot. This girl is 22, which means she was born after that happened. Literally her entire life, it has been policy that if you smoke marijuana, you're kicked out of the Olympics. You knew that. And you have the fucking audacity to say, it's racism. No, you're stupid.
Well,
okay, you are fucking stupid.
Okay, so let's think about that. So it's racism. So getting high is a racial characteristic.
Yeah, making bad decisions.
Really? Do you really want to play that card?
Oh, it's just it's unfucking real. It's like, no, this is something that literally your entire life. If you smoke, that they're going to test you. That's the infuriating thing. Yeah. They're going to test you.
I can't even.
I can't wrap my brain around that concept. Yeah. I know this is illegal. I know they're going to check me for it, but I'm special, and they won't catch me or they won't punish me.
Well, Jay, all I have to say about that is maybe it is racist.
Oh. Well, I don't know. And again,
you have a show and tell.
I have a special show and tell today.
Jay always does show and tell.
I do.
We got like 10 minutes left. So
Wait, what?
We got 10 minutes left. So if you got a show, I think it's show and tell time.
Who has a show and tell? Do you have a show and tell?
No.
Alan, do you have a show and tell?
Do I?
I don't think I have one.
I had to get one specifically for today's events.
Well, show us, Jay.
Why?
I couldn't resist. I had to pull it out of the safe.
What are we looking at? Oh,
we're looking at my AK.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, because
AKM.
my I believe
Nice.
it's Romanian or Yugoslavian. I used to know, but you got an underfolder. You know, it's part of moving out of Massachusetts. It's an underfolder. It has a bayonet lug. I need a bayonet.
Of course.
It is literally the only gun I have that has a bayonet lug that I do not have a bayonet for. So
why not?
But yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been lazy, but it was a trade. I traded one of my several dozen ARs for.
I think I've got a bayonet that fits that.
So.
How many rounds?
It's the 30 round. This is actually the mag pull. These are really, really good. But you know, and I don't even know if I can do this on camera, but
yeah, you can.
You know, so we got the little metal stock. It's it's just 7.62 by 39. It's not
that stock works pretty good though.
Yeah, I like how it's compact, and like I said, it was one of those how you can't have that in Massachusetts. I'm like, I'm not in Massachusetts anymore. So, but
was it your first purchase after you left?
No. I got this just a couple of years ago. I just happened to come up.
That's an interesting question, Rita. What was your first purchase when you entered the U.S., Jay?
Glock 19. With 3 15-round magazines. No.
Okay. Nice.
And then I think it was a North American Arms mini revolver. Was the next one.
You went through the list of guns that weren't allowed in Massachusetts and said check.
Which ones do you want?
It's a checklist.
Yes, I want them all. Oh. And I have to. I built a couple of ARs that were long range oriented, so they had fixed stocks, and they also have free float handguards, so there's no bayonet lug. And I'm like, I have to put a flash hider on this because otherwise it'd be legal in Massachusetts. So on goes the flash hider. Nah.
Nice.
Like, collapsible stock.
You need to work on getting a bayonet.
That's right.
I do need to get an AK bayonet.
Do you have any ARs with bayonet lugs?
I have several. I'm trying to think. I probably have.
Do you have the bayonet for it?
I do. I have 3.
Good.
I have like 2 actual bayonets and 1 cheap Chinese knockoff that only works if I kind of hammer it down, but it's still a bayonet. And then all my World War I, World War II rifles have them because you have to. You just have to.
It's required.
Mosin Nagant with the friggin' 8-foot-long spear. You could pick up trash across the river with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and it's the folder, right? Do you have the one with the folder?
I have both.
Mosin, yeah. Mine has the mine has the folding. It's not a blade bayonet. It's a spike.
Yeah, it's a spike. It's a poker. I want to cook hot dogs with it. I want to flip it out, put a hot dog on it, fire a bunch of rounds until it heats up. You could
use it to grill meat on a fire. I mean, it'd be to skewer.
So yeah.
I want one of those what was the one was it the Lee Enfield that had the long ass bayonet they'd stick on it?
The 1917.
Yeah. It
had
had the super long. Yeah.
2 foot.
It turned your rifle into a spear.
It also went on the trench gun.
Yeah.
The 1897 Winchester pump shotgun. That was the Germans actually went before the what did they go before? They filed a grievance because this weapon was too powerful.
Because it was a shotgun, or because it had the sick bayonet on it?
Because it was a shotgun.
Oh,
and it could fire 6 rounds without reloading.
Oh no.
That was World War One. They were still, going into battle on horseback. So
yeah. Well, that's a great show and tell, Jay. Thank you.
So I was, like I said,
I have the Chinese knockoff version of that. I don't have the good Eastern Bloc version.
I have one. This is my second AK. I have one that is it's cobbled together by like 2 different parts kits, and it's the receiver is actually made in Ohio, Brita. ITM. Anyway,
you're asking me.
Got a parts kit in the early 2000s, right after it must have been in the late 90s. It was right after they Clinton banned importation of the kits, the cut up receiver, and you got all the other parts. So I bought one because I could, and found a receiver. A friend of mine put it together for me, and it's always worked kind of iffy. So, it's like if it's super clean and I run good ammo, it's all right. And this one's just this one's an AK. It just
the Eastern Bloc ones are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to mess with it. I just want to leave it as is and get a bayonet. So I'll have to report back when I find my bayonet.
Go to a gun show. They usually have them.
Yeah, I was going to go.
Well, it has to be like an authentic, right?
Oh yeah.
If I can find an authentic one, yes. Otherwise, I'm not averse to cheap, gas station bayonets. I don't intend to actually use it as a bayonet. So,
but
you can get your chainsaw mount for
it. They do exist. I have seen them.
Get the semi truck.
I want somebody like a gun manufacturer to create all those crazy mounts for the bayonet mounts, like the semi truck but like not just like little metal things that you can attach that are about the same weight as a bayonet. Yeah. That you could just attach on it. That would be so good.
Yeah, somebody should make those. That'd be great. Yeah.
It would be awesome. And I'm shocked no one has done it yet.
Somewhere I've got to have like a small, like a 1/43 scale 18-wheeler. Like a
there you go.
And all you need to do is just Dremel a little slot in so that it fits on the bayonet lug.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Put like an M-lock thing on it and attach it to your handguard.
That would actually be ridiculously easy to do.
Yeah. It could just sit there.
Why has no one thought of this already? Like,
I don't know. Sounds like a business opportunity.
Cut out silhouettes of like items, like you have saber-toothed tigers or semi-truck or like great white shark or T-Rex or the chainsaw. Just a cut out silhouette thing.
And do you know what has to be on the side of the 18-wheeler? This machine kills fascists.
Hong Kong.
Oh yeah, this machine kills. Hong Kong, I like that.
Hong Kong is another good one. Now, if you could make a flash hider muzzle brake that turned your report into a honk honk, you have something. Honk 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 honk.
That might fall under the suppressor class.
Well, make it louder. Make it a loudener.
Oh.
Loudener.
Like a big cone, like a blunderbuss.
I don't know why you couldn't do that, Jay. You just need something. You've already got one gas takeoff to work the bowl. Yeah. Why couldn't you have another one to?
Couldn't they like 3D print stuff too? 3D print stuff to attach.
Yeah,
easy enough.
You know why?
Right?
Do you know why I want a 3D printer?
Yeah.
I want to 3D print the fucking legs on my keyboard because I keep breaking the goddamn things.
Oh my God.
You can buy those, Jay.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I may have to look up the model and buy like 100 of them. Because the problem is like
those little flip out.
Or get a keyboard that doesn't have legs.
This is what I need.
Yeah.
I bet you
probably buy a whole bag of them.
I'm sure you can buy those on Amazon. You probably buy 100 count bag of them or something, which you may need.
I may have to because this last one I made it over a year. I was pleased with myself because I'm a shaved ape, and that's the problem. I get going.
Is it one of those? Is it one of those clacky PC keyboards? Yeah.
And it's just eventually you push down too hard and it folds back. And I mean it's plastic. It's you look at it and that's what you're dealing with. It's this little tiny piece of plastic, and of course it breaks. What I want, somebody make this out of aluminum. All right, I'll pay.
Wow.
There goes Jay. It's been an hour. He'll be back.
Yeah. Anyway, next week.
Yep. Yeah, and here he is.
Next week.
All right, Jay.
So anyway, I'm gonna go look for these. I almost had another show and tell. I do have a show and tell. I went and bought a microphone. However, I'm a moron, and I did not get the adapter that plugs into the iPhone.
Oh.
So it's ordered, but I totally didn't even enter my head.
So what's the microphone for?
Rather than this, it clips to your lapel, so I can kind of clip it, and it'll be like just this. It'll be the same distance.
Though?
What are you going to use for ear things?
The phone.
Yeah, but what are
we'll
you
see how that works?
Plug them in? Because you're going to plug the microphone into the. Do you have like a splitter to split the microphone into the ear thing?
That's an interesting question because if the microphone is not acting, if the jack is not acting as a mic and speaker, will it use the? I guess you can change the audio. So the other thing is I can always
get some wireless ones. Yeah, get your Bluetooth ear things or something.
I was going to say I'm pretty sure somewhere around here I've got a Bluetooth speaker, so I can just Bluetooth speaker you guys and. I'll have like a little recording studio.
All right. Well, good luck.
We'll see. Well, I got it.
It
no
is
sleeper.
Time to go.
It is cat feeding o'clock.
It's cat feeding o'clock. I'm surprised he hadn't roared.
Yeah, he was walking around, but he was quiet.
Yeah, so you can tell. You can tell it's time because I've already timed out. So.
Yep. Yeah. It's been an hour. All right. We'll be back next week. Y'all keep your.
Good night, everybody.
Try not to go invade Ukraine.
That's right. As long as we don't all die in a nuclear apocalypse, we'll be back next week.
That's right.
It's no longer killed by COVID. It's now murdered. It's now murdered by Putin.
Something. It's always something.
What a fucking weird couple of years.
What a world. What a world.
Jesus. All right. Bye, y'all.
Night, y'all.
Okay. Good night. Bye.